Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel, Eddie in Reading Land. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you a review and flip through of the Classics of Mountains Tarot by Carolyn Zing. Okay guys, so for this tarot, I just want to be outright and upfront and say that this tarot I backed on Kickstarter, and I believe there are no more copies available of this tarot. I know that it's very unpopular in the tarot tube community to show a tarot that's no longer available. I'm very aware of this, but I have not seen a walkthrough or anyone talking about this deck on TarotTube yet. There may be people who have, but I haven't found them. So I decided that I was going to basically just show you the deck and offer my reviews on it because it is a beautiful, stunning deck, and it's based on the Chinese ancient text of the Classics of Mountains and Seas. It's one of the oldest books in recorded history, as I'm aware, and I have not read it. I am not going to read it. It's way too long. It has too many characters, and it's just too many volumes. And I thought I was going to read it because I'm a bookworm and I like to do that, but no, it's just too long, and it'll take me a lifetime to read it, and I really prefer to read something else. But the deck that Carolyn has given us is extremely beautiful, and I will show you the deck in just a little while. But the deck did come with a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to show you so that you don't get even more mad at me for having things that you guys are not able to get. But what I will say for this tarot is that Carolyn tried to follow the Rider-Waite's myth system, but to me it's way more numerological and way more elemental, and that's how it reads for me. It reads very numerologically and it reads very elemental to me. So when I use this deck, I basically use the Rider-Waite's myth meanings and some associations for the major arcana. But even the majors look different, but they sort of feel very appropriate. Now, well, let me just show you over here. So this is, oh, by the way, this is a mat that came with the tarot. I forgot that I had it, and we recently moved to a new place, and well, maybe not very recently, but we still have things in boxes, and my library is not where it's supposed to be, but it's fine. We'll get there eventually. I hope. But anyway, the deck did come with a bag, and I rarely keep them in bags, my decks, but this one also came with a box, and here is the box. As you can see, it's very intricate. This is also the design in the back of the cards. You're going to see it very soon. But it's actually the box is pretty plain, and that's fine. All of the work and all of the love definitely went into the tarot, and you guys are going to see that. And it's a two-part box, which I love, and it's actually very sturdy. So that I really like. See, so this deck does have more than 78 cards. It has 82 cards, and she does get into the reasons why she did that. It's basically the deck has extra oracle cards, but they're also very beautiful. And when I have used this deck, I have used those cards in the deck because they're just so beautiful, and they're so evocative and so innovated. And they're just so gripping that I decided to put them there, which is usually something that I don't do. I actually like 78 cards per tarot deck, but yeah. So again, most of the characters in the let me show you guys over here. most of the characters portrayed on this tarot, actually not most of them, all of them, are named in this handbook. This is also a guidebook, but it basically just goes straight into the Fool, and it finishes with the extra cards over here. What I like about this guidebook is that it really explains very well the decisions as to why Carolyn decided to use this specific character for their archetype or for that specific card. And sometimes it's not only one character, it's actually a story within the book being portrayed in the card. So I thought that was amazing. This is not the whole entirety of the Classics of Mountains and Seas. These are some of the characters. But I mean, we have here, for example, for the Fool, we have, you're gonna see how stunning it is. Oh, and if you guys have actually watched my favorite depictions of cards, this Fool does make an appearance. So this is Kuafu, and we learned this because we have the name over here, and she provides a small snippet of the story of Kuafu and why he's important in the narrative, and over here she goes over the reasons why she picked Kuafu, for example, to be the Fool. And then she also provides us with upright and reverse meanings of Fool. And this is actually pretty good for a small little white book. I mean, black book in this case. But these are actually pretty good. So if you're starting tarot, and you're going to buy another deck or a different deck, this would be one of those decks that would work for you, because she's basically just telling you the meanings of these cards over here, and she goes over the lore, and she goes over that with all of the cards. Even the minors have a bunch of text available, and I really, really appreciate that. As you can see here with the Ten of Swords, we have this character who I don't know how to pronounce that name, but I think it's Juansu. Again, I do not speak Chinese. I actually speak Japanese, but very different languages. Yeah, they do sound very, very different. But yeah, so the minors get the exact same detail than the majors, and so do the extra cards over here. So she really did an excellent job with this tarot. I will not complain. It is a very beautiful, stunning tarot. So like I said, these are the backs. And it is reversible. She does work with reversals, and I tend not to work with reversals. Sometimes I do. But most of my practice is daily draws. And so for daily draws, I mostly just use upright meanings, and I just go with what I'm feeling and with my intuition if that card needs to be read in shadow. But this is one of those decks where if I would be using it for client readings, I have not used this deck for client readings, I would probably use reversals, because it'll be a lot easier for me since the imagery deviates from the Rider-Waite's myth. It'll be a lot easier for me to know and see when that card needs to be read in shadow or reversed or blocked energy, however you guys like to read it. But yeah, so this is the backs, and these are the stunning edging. This is gold matte, and it does shine a little. It's not coming out in the video over here, but it actually does shine a bit. The gilding. Actually this color over here is a lot brighter than the actual color. It's more mustard than it is this bright yellow. But Yes, so here we go, guys. So let's just go into the cards. As you can see, also, it is a matte finish, and it's not rose petal, but the cards do have a little bit of a texture to them, but they're extremely flexible, and I'm sure that we're able to riffle shuffle. We would be able to riffle shuffle this deck without a problem. I choose not to do it right now because, again, I'm not really sure if I would be able to get a copy of this tarot again. But here we have the Fool. I will say that one of the, if I'm getting very nitpicky, is that one of the flaws of this tarot is that everyone is incredibly beautiful and fit. In this tarot, the good thing though is that they're all Asian, so it's just, you know, I guess, yeah, no, it definitely is a missed opportunity, but the artwork is just so stunning that I just really enjoy just looking at the cards. But yeah, so here we have the Fool, and here we have our Magician. See how different the depictions of the cards are, but once you read the handbook that Carolyn wrote, it makes sense why this character is the Magician. But as you can also see, he's incredibly fit and muscly for a magician too. And here we have the very beautiful High Priestess. Oh my god, she's just so gorgeous. But as you can see, there is an inclination for the Rider-Waite-Smith. Here we have the Moon. She's crowned with the Moon. This character has a fascinating story. I wish that I would have the time to let you know about all of the characters, the ones that I remember at least, but we will be here forever. And yep, here we have the Empress, who also makes an appearance in my favorite depictions of cards. Here we have the Emperor. I like that this is a young Emperor, and I also like from this Emperor that this seems to be a tool that he's using. Okay, and then here we have the very shadow Hierophant. I mean, just the detail on the cards is amazing. Oh, whoops, there we go. Here we have the Lovers. And the Chariot. I really like this smoke coming out of the Chariot. Makes me feel like instead of stagnation, this is actually moving. So I really appreciate that. Okay, and then here we have one of my favorite cards being depicted. The Strength card is my favorite card in the tarot, but this is very different for me for the Strength card. This is more related to, oh, what is the name of that tarot that has the Strength card is carrying the pillar instead of being with the lion? If I remember the name, I'm sure that my husband will put over here in a little cloud or something in the video. But this is the first Strength card that I've actually like that deviates from the woman with the lion. Mostly because I feel like this being is a monster and has learned how to tame itself. And with that notion, it makes sense to me that this would be the Strength card. It reminds me a little of Frankenstein's monster. So that's also probably why I really like it and appreciate it. Here we have the Hermit. Oh my god, this is just so beautiful. I like the fact that the Hermit doesn't need to be alone. And I like the fact that he has dragons. Dragon companions. here we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have 3 sisters for the Wheel of Fortune. It's fascinating how very reminiscent of the Greek fates this card is, especially with the story on the handbook that Carolyn shared with us. But yeah, definitely, if you think of this card as the fates, it makes total sense that it would be the Wheel of Fortune. Here we have our Justice card. Again, it's a beautiful, stunning image, and this is one of the cards where I wish there was a scale, because I really like the scales for the Justice card. But I mean, it's a stunning image. Here we have our Hangman. Oh my God! And here we have Death. I just love how fabulous and fierce this person is. This winged being. It really looks like she's asking for your soul, and I really, really, really like that. It's just so magnificent. She looks so elegant and yet so monstrous at the same time, and scary too. I just really appreciate it. Lady in Red, yes, this is just giving me everything I need in a Death card that I didn't think that I needed. Okay, here we have Temperance, featuring a deer. Here we have our very, very demonic devil. Oh God, do I love this devil card. I really enjoy it. I love the exaggerated features, especially in the ears over here. And I like as well that you can tell that this being isn't human, and that you need to watch out for them, especially with these sorts of additions to his garb and the over elongated horns. It's just, and he actually looks very sensual and maybe sexual too, and I really, really appreciate that in a devil. Okay, here we have our Tower. This is one of the cards that deviate even more from the usual depictions of the Tower, and I don't mind it at all. The only criticism that I would say about this Tower is that it feels like it's building more than destroying. But of course, there is a sort of creation after destruction meaning and theme to the Tower. So, but as in any case, this is a really, really stunning image. Here we have the Star. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but there is a star here. Let me see if it focuses. Focus. There we go. See? There's a star mandala in the background for this star card. Oh, whoops. Oh gods, and here we have our very beautiful moon. I just love this moon card. It's just so stunning to me. I love the white with in contrast with the other foxes over here. This is a fox being sort of like a kitsune from Japanese mythology, but the equivalent from Chinese. And it just, oh god, it's just so beautiful, and it totally makes sense to me too. I like shapeshifters depicted in the moon because it just exacerbates and perpetuates the meaning of cycles in the moon, and I really, really like that. Here we have our very stunning sun card. I mean, look at this. I love the foliage. But I like that even though the sun is being obscured by the foliage, you still have that same feeling of the sun, and I really, really like that. Here we have our Judgment card. And we do have an angel, and actually angels, or actually I should say winged humans, make an appearance in the classics of Mountains and Seas, and this is one of those beings. And the world, oh my god, isn't that just stunning? As you guys can see, there is a world behind her, but I really like that she's on the forefront of that world, and I love how luxurious and how vital she seems to the world. It's so beautiful. Okay, and now we start with the pips. So this is where the striking differences from the Rider-Waite-Smith start to deviate and start to really challenge me or us, with the meaning of the cards. I do have to say that, for example, if I didn't read about this creature in the Ace of Swords handbook, there is no relation that I would have been able to produce for the energy of the Ace of Swords with just this being over here. Obviously, I believe in the image is just beautiful, and you can definitely see this. But if you read in the handbook, it makes sense why this creature is in the Ace of Swords. Here we have our Two of Swords. I'm going to try and not say a lot about the pips because I mean I would have to read the handbook for you guys so that you understand, and even me, because I don't remember a lot of the creatures and the stories here. But I do want to say that, for example, it is more, like I was saying, I would read it more in numerologically, and also elementally. I started thinking about this tarot as a scenic Marseille, and it was definitely a lot easier to read that way. When I was using this deck. I think this is one of the decks that I will be using starting Yule this year. Oh my god, I mean, look at her. She's so beautiful. So beautiful. But see, this is one of those depictions that align in a way with the Rider-Waite-Smith. She does look very sly and very stealthy, like she just got away with something. And that is a perfect energy for me for the Seven of Swords. I mean, the creatures are just stunning and very beautiful. Here we have Ten of Swords. Okay, so here we have our page. So the core cards actually, in my opinion, in this deck, do align with the Rider-Waite-Smith system. They're just depicted with these characters, but I feel the same energy of the Page of Swords in this than in the regular Rider-Waite-Smith Page of Swords. The same can be said about the Knight of Swords here, and all of the other core cards. I identify with this Knight of Swords, not specifically this image. I am not that vain. Maybe I am. But this, the Knight of Swords is just always in seeking with information and seeking knowledge. And that's how I like to perceive myself. I mean, look at this queen. The colors alone, that purple, oh god. And the very dashing King of Swords. Okay, so now we go to the Ace of Wands. See, this one does have more of a feeling of the Ace of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. And we even have a tree here that's basically being illuminated by the sun. So and again, this is a very beautiful and very evocative, very plentiful sort of image, and I really, really appreciate that. We have our Two of Wands. Our 3. Here we have our Four of Wands. Doesn't look much like celebration of anything of the self, but there is a reason why we have this bull in the Four of Wands. Maybe I should read you about the story. Let's see what this Five of Wands. Let's see what the guidebook says. Ace, 3, 4, 5. So here it says let me put this over here. In the classic of Mountains and Seas, Five of Wands is represented by the people from the country of fire, discontent. This country is located in the south, and its inhabitants have bodies resembling wild animals and are black in color. They can exhale flames from their mouth and are naturally greedy for fire, never satisfied. They constantly quarrel and fight amongst themselves. So yeah, no, that very definitely ties with competition and more with the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition of there's conflict here, and there is more and more of that fighting spirit and that revolution that happens in the Five of Wands. So, but if you don't read, this is an example of what I was saying. If you don't read the handbook, you really don't know why these images were chosen. Six of Wands. I do find that this feels very victorious. So I really like this depiction, this fire horse. The Seven of Wands. I like that there's a hummingbird for the Eight of Wands. If there's a bird that would exemplify the Eight of Wands, it would definitely be a hummingbird. We have the Nine of Wands. And the 10. This dragon is just so imposing. I really, really like that. And to be perfectly honest, I think that encountering this dragon would be a very terrible burden. I don't like my chances with this. Okay, so here we have a Page of Wands. So a little bit more aggressive for a Page of Wands than I would like, but I still have that same energy of the Page of Wands here in this person. Here we have our Knight of Wands. A very, very, very fiery and stunning queen. And our very elegant King of Wands. He reminds me of a music conductor every time I see him, the King of Wands. And I really like that imagery for a king. Maybe not specifically for the King of Wands, even though he is literally using a wand to lead the symphony and the orchestra. Okay, so here we have the Ace of Pentacles. I really, really like how abundant this land looks for the Ace of Pentacles. It makes absolutely total sense to me, even without reading the handbook. Here we have our wolf. Oh god, it's just so cool. Three of Pentacles. Whoops. There we go, guys. And even though we have a border on the cards, strangely enough, they do not distract from the imagery. And also, the titles on the cards over here, they also don't distract from the imagery. I think it's because the imagery, it's just so bright and so mystifying and just so unique and beautiful that I mean, the names just don't matter. Here we have the 8. I like this depiction of the Nine of Pentacles. This is a, oh God, not a bathhouse. It's onsen in, what is the word for onsen in English? Good gods, I'm gonna think about it, and when I'm gonna leave this over here, and when I remember, I'll let you guys know. If you watch anime, you know what an onsen is. Oh, I mean, look at that Page of Pentacles, guys. It's just so beautiful. So we have a female knight, which I really appreciate. And I mean, she looks just simply statuesque. Here we have our Queen of Pentacles with a very fierce tiger. And our King of Pentacles. I like this depiction of the King of Pentacles because he looks very calm and very serene and so sure of the resources around him. So I really, really like this King of Pentacles. Okay, so here we have our Ace of Cups. I don't know if you guys are able to see, but this person only has a jewel for a face. Here we have our Two of Cups. I like that there's 2 women for the Two of Cups. Thank you for at least infusing a little queerness into the deck. There should be more. Oh gods, I love this. This creature for the Three of Cups, even though it doesn't seem like community and how we usually would think of the Three of Cups. Stunning, very intricate. Okay, so here we have the goldfish for the Seven of Cups. The Eight of Cups. I really, really like this Ten of Cups again. It's another infusion of queerness into the tarot. Okay, and here we have our Page. The Knight of Cups. I'm sorry, guys. I really appreciate the fact that we don't have that romance with the Knight of Cups. I know that it's very appropriate for the Knight of Cups, but I don't like it. Here we have our queen. I mean, we even have mermaids. Come on, guys. This is just so beautiful. And our king. So, and here we have the extra cards, and we have Breakthrough, Felicity. She really looks very happy and very free, so I really like that depiction of Felicity. Here we have Transformation. So this confused me again, because if you don't read about the card, it really doesn't make any sense. But this whale transforms from another being into this whale, and the story makes sense with transformation. Oh, whoops, sorry guys. And here we have Challenge. Okay, so there you have it, guys. I mean, let's see, let me put back the 9 of Pentacles because I cannot think of the English word for onsen. And is it hot springs? Is that what I'm trying to say? Is it hot springs? I think that's what it is. It's hot springs. This is a hot springs depiction in the 9 of Pentacles. But yeah, so guys, that is the Classics of Mountains and Seas Tarot by Carolyn Zing. This is a tarot that, again, I haven't used in clients, and I don't think I will use for clients because still to this day, this tarot immediately confuses me because I have a certain meaning attached to the cards, and the depiction that Carolyn shows us in the deck are so diaphanous from what I'm used to that it does create confusion, and it does make me pause, and that is something that I do not want to do in a client reading as much as possible. And I certainly don't want to consult the book to see how the creature or the character that we're looking at is relevant towards the meaning of the card while I'm doing the reading. I have done, though, daily draws with this deck, and yes, it's less potent for me. It doesn't allow me to write as much as I want when I'm doing daily draws and when I'm journaling. So that is the downfall of this deck. Again, it's incredibly beautiful. I have no complaints about the artwork or the quality of this deck. It is just amazing. I really like it. Right now, this deck is basically only for daily draws for me, and to be perfectly honest, when I backed this on Kickstarter, I got it because I thought it was going to be my first tarot deck that I will keep just for the artwork, but I actually use this deck, and even though it does make me pause and I don't develop my journaling as much as I want when I'm using this deck, it's still really good for daily draws. It's still it has its own power, I believe, because it does have a certain stillness to it. It has a certain calm. All of the cards do, even the ones that look a little bit monstrous and look a little bit more aggressive. That card still makes me pause and think about what I'm going to write. And sometimes I need that. Sometimes I need that pause, and that's when I bring this tarot out. Like I said, whenever I'm feeling like I need that pause is probably more towards the end of winter, so that's probably when I will use it again, and that'll be for starting Duel. So here's a little bit of a deck that I haven't seen around for you guys, and again, I'm really sorry that this deck is no longer available to purchase. but I wanted to share it with you guys because it's a stunning deck. It's a beautiful deck, and it's still a deck that I use. So, and I just want to be perfectly honest with you about my practice and how I use this deck and for what. And there you go, guys. That's how I use this deck. I really, really like it. It's very beautiful. But let me know in the comments below which was your favorite card from the cards that you saw. If this deck becomes available, would you consider purchasing it? I hope that you do, because it's a great quality deck, and it's an insight to a culture that's different from ours. And I feel like as tarot readers, the more that we learn about how other cultures relate the tarot and their meaning with their own books and with their own experiences, it just makes the whole experience of tarot a lot more richer for us, and it just adds another layer to our practice. But as in any case, thank you so much as always for being with me here, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, YouTube.